Hi, and welcome to Raddradicall. My name's Radd, and today I'm joined here by my cousin, but also my friend, and a D.I.D system. Their name is Alex.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what it means to have D.I.D, about the specifications on how D.I.D interacts with society, and some other fun things.
Yippee.
But real quick, I do want to drop a little disclaimer right here. We're going to be talking about mental health and other traumatic shit, so if you don't want to hear about this, you might want to find a different video.
Yeah, and know that you are never alone when you're struggling with mental health. There's people out there that can care about you.
Not only are there friends and family, but I'm a random person on the internet you can always reach out to. Plus, there are hotlines for just about every single country out there for if you're in crisis mode. Do please call them. Don't ever be embarrassed.
Yippee.
So, I guess we should kick off this interview with a banger of a first question. What is D.I.D?
D.I.D is dissociative identity disorder. It is formerly known as multiple personality disorder. Multiple personality disorder is an outdated term, so if you ever see anyone referring to D.I.D as multiple personality, please politely correct them. It would help get education out there. D.I.D is characterized by two distinct personalities or more. It is created due to a massive chronic childhood trauma that happens usually between the ages of 3 and 9 when the personality is developing. Childhood trauma such as abuse, sexual abuse, abduction, anything. As long as you are disassociating and it is chronic, it can happen. D.I.D is rare. It is as rare as bulimia, but not as rare as redheads. So if you're in a room with 100 people, 5 people in that room are likely to have D.I.D.
So, you said that it happens during the formative years of your personality, but why does it happen?
It happens to help you cope with trauma and memories that you can't cope with as a child. If you are put under severe stress, your brain will split, kind of like a broken mirror. And it lasts lifelong or multiple years. There is something called integration, but me personally, I don't believe in integration because I feel like it's taking a life away from someone who has no choice.
So, is integration at the end of the day a personal choice if you all decide to come together and be one again?
Yes, you can live with multiplicity. Therapy helps with that.
Interesting. Therapy helps with a lot of stuff, though.
Yes, it does. And like I said, it's caused by shocking, distressful, painful events.
So, what are some symptoms that somebody who might be experiencing D.I.D would go through on a day-to-day?
Loss of sense of time, separated from yourself and emotions, identity crisis, amnesia, anxiety, mood swings, destructive behavior such as self-harm, altered consciousness, depression, flashbacks, and blackouts. You can also have out-of-body experiences.
So, by out-of-body experiences, is it kind of like watching yourself through somebody else's eyes?
Yeah, and you can also feel like you're living in a simulation, like nobody is real, nothing's real. So basically, with out-of-body experience, it's like you're laying on the ground and you're floating and you're seeing yourself from a different point of view.
So, experiencing D.I.D, experiencing multiplicity, has that been a comfort to you, or has that been more of a troubling thing for you?
Both, because you can have a detachment from reality. It can cause problems with stress. It's hard to manage your emotions. It's hard to work sometimes. It creates a lot of problems with day-to-day life. So, for instance, there's this one time I was with a friend and I was at her house. I remember being at her house. And someone switched and I was on the highway. When I came back, I didn't know how I got there, why I was there, and it was emotionally stressing.
Kitty, you are a great decoration, but you are hurting the hell out of me. These altars of yours, do they necessarily all have to be human?
No, we have a wolf in here from childhood trauma of being treated like an animal and being caged like an actual animal. We have demons in here. We have vampires, immortals. A lot of them are human. But if you have like near-death experiences, like I had, you can have ghosts and stuff like that. Like there was one time I got beat so bad that I was choking on my own blood, and it created a vampire. You can have trees. You can have a Dairy Queen cup, for all we know.
A Dairy Queen cup. That sounds like a very interesting altar. I'd like to meet a cup.
One of our ex-partner systems had a chair.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh because it's funny. It just sounds like, I guess, as a, what would you refer to a person who doesn't have D.I.D. as a person who has D.I.D.? A system I know that you guys like to be referred to as.
I would refer to as one person with one conscious as a singlet.
Interesting. So I guess as a singlet, it sounds very wild to me to think that somebody could have another person inside their head who's not exactly a person but a chair. Come sit on me, guys.
It was like that.
That's funny. How do you feel about the stigma involving the 2020 TikTok D.I.D. revolution, where there were a lot of creators that were exposed for faking having this tumultuous disorder?
So, it kind of pissed me off with people going into people's comment section saying, "Oh, you're faking," which is a lot of them were. A lot of them came out with apology videos explaining that they faked it for clout. But unless you're a medical professional, you can't tell if a person is faking it. Me, as someone with a professional diagnosis written in paper, when people tell me that I'm faking, it makes me feel like I'm being invalidated. I feel like if people had more education around the ID, there wouldn't be as much stigma as there is today.
Interesting. So, as you shift from one person to another, generally how does that go? Like, I know that it's up to the individual because everybody's mind is different, but how would you explain your experience of shifting?
So the easiest way that I can explain it is, imagine being in a car. You're driving, so you're front. There's someone in your passenger seat, which is co-con, so co-consciousness. You can hear them, see them, feel them, smell them, right? And then there's people in your back seat. Those are the people that you can hear. You can feel them. You may be able to see them. You may not be able to see them. And then there's someone in your trunk. You can't hear them, see them, feel them, anything. You wouldn't even know they're there if you didn't put them in your trunk.
Believe that your experiences with this disorder have been more of a bad thing or more of a good thing?
I believe it's been more of a good thing for me. Because there is events that I couldn't handle that are traumatic. But it's not just all about trauma. Like, we have children in my brain. And if I'm going past a toy aisle in Walmart or a different store, that child can be triggered out from positive triggers. It's not all negative. But there are negative triggers, such as my mom yelling at me. It triggers someone else out of my brain to handle that situation. And sometimes it's bombarding because sometimes there's people that I'm around that other people in my brain want to talk to. And it gets very chaotic. Them trying to push themselves out.
I've met at least one of your alters before, Max, and he's pretty cool, even though he pronounces my name wrong. Do you believe that singlets and systems should engage with each other friendship-wise, or do you believe, like a lot of other systems do, that multiplicity should avoid singlets?
You're a singlet. I'm sitting here interacting with you.
Yeah.
So, I think that as long as you're not sitting here bashing me for being a system and thinking that I'm crazy, that singlets can interact with multiplicity. I think that systems that think that systems shouldn't interact with singlets are just miseducated and misguided. I mean, it is a preference, but as relationship wise, right? I've had singlet partners. I've had multiple partners before. I've had people that have multiplicity. I mean, we get along great. You just have to be educated.
That's very comforting to know that, at least you're not on that singlet bashing train like a lot of people with the idea are.
You know how many singlets there is out there in the world?
A lot more than people with D.I.D. I know that for sure.
Exactly.
What would you tell singlets to better understand your experience of day-to-day life?
I would tell them education. Education is very important. I would tell them be patient. And don't freak out when you see a switch, because some switches can be very dramatic. Some are like, you're switched. Some are like, ooh, I can't believe I can't see. Just be patient.
I remember whenever I was tattooing you, it was just like a blink and something changed. And it was quite hilarious because I was very confused as to what was going on for a second. And then I was just like, oh yeah.
All you hear is, ah! And then it's, oh hey.
Ah! Shut up. I would like to give you just a few minutes to kind of share, I guess, whatever you would like to share to the audience about your experiences, your life, and how others could be maybe a little bit more tolerant and accepting of other people.
Please know, as we've mentioned multiple times, that D.I.D is different for everybody. There's not, it's like a snowflake. No snowflake is alike. Please also know, as we said in the beginning of this video, if you're struggling with this disorder or other mental health disorders, that you are not alone. You are cared for, you are loved, and you are valid. Self-diagnosing is also very valid if you have the proper education. Just don't get yourself reared up on the idea that you have something that you might not have. I think that if you're very patient, if you're a singlet and you're very patient with a person that has D.I.D, you will get farther than someone who's bombarding. Yeah. If you like these type of videos, please leave us comments on what else you would like to learn about D.I.D. I'm willing to educate you, so is Radd. And we can make multiple videos. We can make a whole series out of this if you would like.
Remember, guys, if you enjoy the video, please subscribe, like, do all that interaction stuff. If you don't, I'm sorry. I'm new to all this. My TikTok will be linked down below in the description, as well as some resources about D.I.D, mental health crisis lines, and a couple other interesting tidbits that we would like to share with you. Not only that, but this took a lot of time. So if you want to go visit my TikTok and give me a follow or subscribe here, that would be awesome.